I'm Katie Pausin, and I'm 11 years old. And
And I'm Anya, and I'm 14. So, Katie, how were you introduced to Stone Soup?
I was introduced to stone soup. My mom brought it up one day when we were talking over dinner. I'm pretty sure, or just some random time in the day, and she told me about the book club, and she told me about how I think she thought it would cool. She thought it would be cool for me to see what it was like to join one of those clubs, for me to know a bit more about different people and different.
Cool. Yeah, so do you subscribe to the magazine or?
Yes, we do subscribe to the
Okay,
magazine.
cool. Have you ever submitted anything?
I'm not sure. Miss Jane, yeah. She, I wrote a poem. I'm pretty sure, and we were thinking about submitting it, but I'm not sure if we ever did.
Okay, cool. Do you think that you would want to submit something in the future?
If I wrote a really good story that I think I would be proud of, yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and then you've done the writing workshop and book club, and you also did one of the summer camps, I think. We were in the same one, weren't we? The picture book.
Yes, the picture book
Okay.
camp.
So, what do you think is your favorite part about the writing workshop?
Um, Probably when uh they introduce us to a different subject, and then we have to write about it in a different format. But then sometimes it gets challenging. Um,
Yeah, cool. Do you remember if you have a specific favorite? I know there were like a million of them, but yeah.
uh, No, I don't think I have a specific favorite, but I think I mean, I didn't write a particularly good story, but the one that I can remember is when we took a twist on fairy tales, modern fairy tales.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and then what do you think is your favorite part about the book club?
Um wow, there's lots of parts of the book club that I like, but my favorite part of the book club is probably when uh we get once we finish reading the book of the 2 weeks that we get to discuss it and talk about the points of the book that we liked and that we disliked.
Cool. Yeah, that's fun. And then what do you think was your favorite part about the summer camp that you did?
Um, the summer camp, like the picture book camp.
Yeah.
So, probably when they gave us ideas, and then I mean, I had an idea, and then they made us think about it a little bit more, and then we came up with the idea, and then they helped us along with doing this thumbnail sketches and the storyline.
Cool. Yeah. And what was your picture book about?
I actually never got to finish it, but I do still have the pages. It's my picture book was called Ping's Adventure, and it was about a little penguin that went on an adventure around like all around the world, like the Eiffel Tower, Italy, Tokyo. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So you were a writer and an artist, correct?
Yes.
Do you find, or what do you think are like, are there any books or authors who inspire your writing? And likewise, are there any artists who inspire your art?
Well, for right now, the book series I'm reading is by Erin Hunter, Warrior Cats series, and it's actually really good. And she inspires my writing style because it makes me write in different like first person, second person, and third person, and she puts different views on each of the characters in every chapter. Um,
Okay,
yeah, and
cool.
for artists, I'm not sure. I can't think of an artist that I'm particularly inspired by. Well, there's a lot of them because I mean, like the older ones like Van Gogh. He's pretty good. But I can't really think of any person that I'm particularly inspired by.
Okay. Do you think there are any artists whose work you particularly like, or is it just kind of
Um,
all of them?
I like well, I mean, if I look up digital art on Safari, and I look at all those drawings, I think, wow, I really want to do that someday. And yeah, and I think it's really cool. So,
Cool. Yeah. And then in real life, or I guess like in your life, are there any inspirations for your writing and art?
um, like I said, Aaron Hunter, but like not one main person. Well, I mean,
Okay.
like probably. past events that have happened to me. That helps me think of writing ideas.
When you write, do you think that you then more like to write about stuff that is personally like happened to you in real life, or do you like to write more fantasy or dystopian or whatever?
Um, I mean, it's a bit of both. Like having trouble waking up in the morning. I wrote about that a few times, actually lots of times, um, and I kind of made it like a different character in my position.
Okay, cool. And then, what do you like to draw? I guess.
People, I really like to draw people, except I'm working on trying to draw more animals.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm not really an artist at all, but I think that drawing and being able to make good art is very cool, and I wish I could do that. Um, so yeah, what do you think is your favorite thing about writing?
Um, Descriptive words, like
Okay.
if I read a book and it says there was a large grassy field with with a slight breeze in the air, and two people were walking across the vast plain. I guess I can picture it. I can
Okay.
picture it really well. So
Yeah. Do you like to put descriptive words into your own writing?
yes, a lot, lots of words.
Cool. And then what do you think is your favorite thing about art?
Um, my favorite thing about art is there's no wrong way to do it, and like
Okay.
have your style of drawing, and no one can tell you that oh that's not right, that's not the right way to do it because I've had some kids tell me that doesn't look very good. The head's off scale. It's not proportion. It's disproportionate. Yeah.
Okay. How much time do you think you spend on your art, or how much time do you think you spend drawing?
If I just want to make like a small drawing, I probably spend I don't know 5-10 minutes on it, and then I like if I do a little scribble on paper and I make it into something that takes about 5 minutes, 2 minutes.
Okay.
But then if I had to do like a finished piece of artwork, I'm pretty sure it'd take 30 minutes to an hour.
Okay. Cool. And the same about your writing. Do you write a lot, or is it just kind of whatever comes to you?
Because I was put into a Fairfax Collegiate class on writing. I mean, I've whatever came to me, I wrote it down, and I wrote down. I mean, I don't write that often, except now that I'm being put into these clubs and all these kind of, yeah, these clubs and these classes. I guess I've started to write more, and I've started to take notice of everything around me, and I look at stuff and I think of all the words that I could describe it with.
Cool. Do you think that do you think that the art that you do in school is different than the art that you do just for fun? And or how do you think they help each other?
Well, I mean, the art that I do at school, it's more like the teacher assigns us a piece of art that she wants us to do, and like I'm not sure about how she teaches it, but I'm not. I don't really. I feel like we could be doing some different things, but yeah. When she gives us an idea for a painting, um, we have to do that painting, and we finish it in a certain amount. We have to finish it in like a span of 3 weeks, and then after that 3 week mark, we have to move on to something else, no matter if you're finished or not. But when I'm at home, I have like if I don't finish it, I can just go back onto it like 2 weeks later, and or like the next day and finish it and not have any because we only have art class once a week, and
Okay.
basically we have to. I wouldn't say rush, but we have to work quickly in order to get part of your assignment done.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Um, and then about writing, do you think that the writing that you do in school is different than what you do for Stone Soup or for fun?
Well, the writing at school is more structured. Um, like they tell us, okay, so I want you to write about this topic and write as well as you can about this one topic. Do not sidetrack. Um, but when you're in like Stone Soup and all those other uh, organizations, I guess, um, you can they give you a topic and you can basically do anything with it. You can either bring it from your brain and put a twist to the topic, but then at school it's more like you write about this topic and I don't want you to put a twist on it. I want it to be strictly formal.
Okay. So it's like you do less creative writing at school and
We do creative writing, except not that often because I can't remember any writing. Yeah, like she gives us topics and we have to write about an essay, and then we have to write about that one topic about like a country. Like I wrote a country in about a country in Africa, and
Mhm.
like we just had to stick to that one topic, and we couldn't just say, oh well, um, England's kind of like this, and then we talk about England, and then we get a bad grade because we talk about England instead of our certain subject. So
Okay. Yeah. Do you think that you have a favorite place where you like to draw or you like to write, or is it just kind of wherever you happen to be?
um, in a quiet place, I can look around. Well, I mean, sort of quiet place. I can look around and I get inspirations. But if like there's a bunch of distraction, like let's say my friends are there, like I one time I one time tried to draw in class like for recess. It was indoor recess and like it didn't go so well because I barely got anything down on paper. But
Yeah.
yeah, distractions.
Cool. Yeah. I'm trying to think how many more questions I have. I know I have two more, but those are my closing questions, so I'll like ask those last. Um, is there anything else, I guess, that you want to say about your writing or your art in general? And if not, then we'll move on to wrapping up the interview.
Um, no, not really.
Cool. All right. So my first last question. Do you have any advice about writing or art for kids your age?
Um, for like if someone for art, first of all, when someone says, I suck at this and I'm just horrible at this, well, they're judging. Well, when they see my piece of art, they're like, "Whoa, that's so good! I can never do something like that." That's because they're judging it up, like what they can do. They're judging it off of what I can do, and it's not really my place to judge them on what their art looks like because it's their art and they judge it themselves. Because I feel like those art competitions, I don't think that's right because people are judging their art and they probably think their art is perfect and they think it's fine, but then someone has to come along and say, oh, well, that looks really disproportionate. There's not enough depth and I don't understand what's going on. Like when someone draws a person, I say, wow, that's actually really good, because I do think it's really good. Except once people see my interpretation of a person, they'll think, wow, that looks really good, and they look at their paper and like in pity, because they think theirs looks horrible. But really, it doesn't matter what other people think about your art because it's your art, and all that matters is what you think of it.
Cool. Yeah.
And
And
then,
then what about writing, I guess?
I mean, it's your story, kind of like art. It's your story, and you can write your story however you want it to be, however silly you want it to be, however scary you want it to be, however realistic you want it to be. But if someone doesn't like it, that means there's millions of other people in the world that could like it.
Okay.
And if one person in your class doesn't like it, there's probably 7 other people in your class that would like it.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So again, you were saying like the same message of just
Yeah.
trust what you like about your writing or your art. Cool. And then my very last question would be if you could tell someone about Stone Soup, what would you say?
I'd probably tell them, if you're thinking about joining this, I do recommend it because, one, there's great teachers. Two, there's really good books, and three, their writing classes are amazing. I mean, I tell them all the good things about it, and I'll tell them, I recommend it a lot, and I keep on telling them that I recommend it in different ways. Um, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview. It was really nice to talk to you and hear everything you had to say. I have to say, I think you're the first artist that I've interviewed, so it was really cool to hear more about art and not so much about writing. Yeah. I hope you have a good rest of your summer and school, whatever form school takes. What is your district doing? Is it remote or hybrid or?
I mean, it's both. Like, you can reserve a seat in our classroom, and if you don't reserve a seat, you're just stuck doing homeschool the entire year.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. Well, anyways, again, thank you so much, and I'll see you at some point, maybe in book club at some point.